Another category of Buddhist texts are the Jatakas, which also contain very many information on the trades, but we have to remember that they are of a later period. However, in some cases historians use the Jatakas also, particularly the early Jatakas, as a source for the trading networks. The Jaina texts are also important to us. One significant fact is that the Jainas believed in non-slaughter of animal beings, and therefore we find that in the Jaina literature trade is given a higher position than agriculture, because while cultivation it may so happen that some insects were killed. Now, when we look at the Buddhist literature, we find that the status of the traders were quite high. Actually, the Buddha himself calls trade or gives the designation to trade as a ukkata kamma, that is, it was a very high work, and it is placed in the third category of ukkata kammas along with agriculture. And Buddha himself said that people who will pursue trade must come from a good pedigree, and the term used is ukkata kula. Therefore, we find that trade or traders were given more importance in the Pali texts rather than in the Brahmanical literature, particularly in the Vedas. When we have the Varna system, we find that trade was designated to the third category in the Varna division, and that was the Vaishyas, and in spite of their gaining of wealth, they were not given the proper position in the ancient Indian social structure. In fact, we have stories where we find that Buddha sometimes compared agriculture with trade. According to the Buddha, agriculture is an occupation where there is a great deal to do. Agriculture requires constant care and supervision and is full of uncertainties and problems. Many duties, large administration and great problems, which if succeeded in yields great profit. On the other hand, trading involves far fewer notices, far fewer duties, administration and problems, and a successful venture brings in great profit. So, this clearly gives us the point of view of the traders, or the point of view of the Buddha in respect to the traders. Now, when we come to the context of traders, we have to realize that we have this generic term vanik for traders, but in the Pali literature and even in other texts we will find that the traders were not a blanket category. We have different kinds of traders referred to in the Buddhist canonical texts. Among them, the most important was the Sethi. He was the richest merchant and was known as the trader par excellence in the Pali canonical literature. The Sethi was a person who was very rich and who traded in large quantity of goods and was respected in the court also and also among the communities. But apart from Sethis, we have reference also to Sattavahas or the Shatavahas, who were the caravan traders. We have immense references where we find that the Sattavahas were moving from the eastern limits, that is from the Pubbanta, to the western limits, the Aparanto, in the Buddhist texts. We even have the reference in Digha Nikaya of a Sattavaha crossing the desert with 1,000 bandwagon, that is Go Shakata. So, therefore, Sattavahas figure prominently along with the Sethis in Buddhist literature. One thing is very important: when their Buddhist literature is talking of the Sethis, they are also referred to as the wealth of the Sethis are referred to, and there we find that we have this term Asiti Koti Bhava, which means that the Sethis' wealth was as large or as huge as 80 crores. This might be an amount which is conventional, but this definitely speaks of the fabulous wealth the Sethi had. Sometimes we have Sethis with the name of a city, connected with the name of a city. For example, we have Rajagaha Sethi, that is Sethi from Rajagriha. This means this particular Sethi was very prominent, and so his name was attached to the name of the city.